Welcome back. Today we're going to go over the last month of progress for my medieval tower defense game, Stop the Slimes. First things first, let's go ahead and fix the bugs that were found in the previous build so that we're not working on top of a buggy code base. One bug that had been reported was this weird delay in the next round button popping up. Now that delay varied, so it made for a bad user experience. This was fixed by removing some bad logic and a timer, as well as having the slime signal the spawner that they had died. Now the title screen had text saying press enter to continue, and that worked well for desktop builds, but not so much for the WebGL builds, and here's why. The iframe is not selected by default, so if the user hadn't previously clicked on it, it would do nothing when they pressed enter, which is a bad user experience. That being said, this one's a pretty easy fix. All I had to do was change the text to say click to continue and set the scene transition to on mouse click. Moving on from bugs, I started learning about the audio mixers in Godot, which were actually quite intuitive. After reading up on them, I added an SFX music and master volume slider to the options menu. Now, I currently don't have any audio in the game, which I'm hoping to fix in the next build pre-alpha 05 with some placeholder tracks. Next up, I added a Discord link to the main menu, and by the way, by joining the Discord, you can receive notifications when new builds go out, what's in the new builds. You could also give feedback and ideas about new features and ones you think should be added. Now, before starting work on the next tower, I wanted to improve the tower placing experience. The current problem is the player can place a tower out of range where it can be effective. So I needed to make a function that takes in the position of the mouse, because you're dragging the mouse around and it's showing where you could place the tower, and the range of that tower that you're dragging around. The function will then check a square around the position and return true if you're close enough and false if you're not. I then relay that information to the selection cube and turn it red if it's false. Now there's still improvements to be made here. I would like to give some more feedback to the player, maybe show a square grid around the tower that they're dragging around so that they have an idea of what the range is to begin with. But that's a problem for later, Eric, and we're moving on to the fun part. It's time for the fire tower. First, I made a fire tower script that inherits from the tower class. Then I connected it to the turret and bullet scripts from the FPS tower defense project. This is going a little too, oh no. Yeah, I did that. I hard-coded all of the tower-related code for buying in the HUD and the tower placement code. To only work with the spike tower, and of course I was only going to make a game with one tower. Man, past Eric is one sure lazy guy. Anyway, after a few hours of making a tower info class and rewriting some code with the power of hindsight, I think we've done it. Now, there is a problem where the bullets shoot through the ground, but I think we'll take a pass at that come next sprint. But maybe we should give this, the fire tower a little stress test.
Behold, let the arrows rain from the sky upon the land which the slimes hop.
After releasing pre-alpha version 0.3.0, I got a couple new bugs were found, but two, I got some awesome feedback in the Discord and in the YouTube comments, and I believe it was all the same. People didn't like right-clicking to place the towers. And I agree with them. One, I think it's more common to left-click to place these kind of items in tower defense games. But two, if I decide to want to port this to mobile in the future, I need it to all be left-click just to make it easier down the road. So let's work on that first. Now the reason that I was using right click to begin with is because in the tower placing process, whenever you right clicked, I would send a raycast from the mouse position to the ground plane to attempt to place the tower there. Now, if I were to just change that to a left click, whenever you may have decided to cancel out that purchasing process and click the cancel button, it could still shoot that raycast through the cancel button onto the ground plane, potentially placing the tower that you were trying to cancel out of the purchase. Yeah, so we need to think of a different way. So after a little bit of thinking about it, I decided that I could put a big button the size of the screen behind all of the HUD elements. That way I could use left click on that button, and every time you left click that button, it would grab the mouse position, do the same thing, trying to place the tower. But because the cancel button was on top of that button, you could click cancel without placing the tower. And with honestly, surprisingly, a little bit of rewriting, it was done. So one feature request in. If y'all have more feature requests and I agree with them, or I agree with part of them, they definitely can make it into the game. Next, I fixed a bug / exploit that was reported on Discord. So you could actually place 2 towers on the same spot. Potentially you could actually place more than that. And they would just stack. So thanks for reporting it. That bug should be fixed and should be in the current release build. This is where the fun part of this print begins, for me at least. Now, I think it's about time that we add in some more slimes. So first, I added a blue slime. It has double the speed of the base green slime, but just a fraction of the health. Next, I added a purple slime, which, again, double the speed, but also now double the health. This one's kind of like a bowling ball rolling down the hill kind of thing, at least if you just have a couple of towers. Once you have some more towers out, it becomes way more manageable. Before you see these slimes hop on down the road, I needed to make this spawn delay tunable per round. That way, as you get on to later rounds, the slime starts spawning closer together, making it a little bit more difficult. Okay, now let's test it out. Well, there's definitely a lot of balancing work to do here, but the current snapshot of this demo, pre-alpha 0.4, is currently out on itch. Don't forget, you can see when new builds go out almost instantly by joining the Discord, linked below. And while you're down there, please subscribe and ring that bell. It really helps out. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.